Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, July 6th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, I posted the big Google Webmaster Report for the past month. It's July 2018 Google Webmaster Report. It goes through probably the most important things that changed over the past month, so including the 16 months of data for the Search Analytics API. Data Studio got out as well. Google released in Search Console a URL inspector tool, which is really, really awesome. Google updated the page speed tool to show origin data, and the Google Search Console now lets you segment web-light results. There was definitely some algorithm tweaks. Google did some clarifications around the speed update as well as the mobile-first indexing. And there's lots and lots of stuff that we covered over the past month. So if you want to catch up quickly, definitely take a look at that post from yesterday, Thursday, July 5th. Talking about Google clarification, Google clarified some things around the the speed update. So we covered earlier that basically John Mueller said that the new Google page, we covered this last week, that the new Google page speed update that's coming out sometime this month, it hasn't been released yet as far as we know, that it looks at the site in a gradual level. And he said, so the faster you make your pages, the more we could take that into account. John then went ahead and I asked Google about it, so he then went ahead and tweeted some clarification. He said, here's his tweet, to clarify, on the mobile speed update, this only affects the slowest sites. Those incremental improvements, those can incrementally improve through ideally you'll significantly improve the speed. So if you make small incremental improvements to your site, it could have a significant speed update. That's what he meant, I guess. And we're still aiming for this month to launch it. If your site is reasonably fast, tweaking won't change things. So if a fast site makes it faster, it should not make any changes or any improvement to your rankings. There were some rumors of a Google algorithm update touching down. There are these rumors every now and then, every few months or so, and sometimes they turn out to be really true and hit the target. I'm not sure if this is the case or not, but I figured I'll cover the rumor. It's been a pretty slow week, so let's have some fun and cover some rumors. Google's John Mueller said they have stopped supporting the AJAX crawling scheme, which they launched back in 2009 and have been sunsetting since 2015. They stopped crawling it for the most part, John Mueller said. And here's his tweet. You can see here. The question is, you said in Q2 that by the end of Q2, the AJAX crawling scheme will be completely not working or functioning for Google crawling those types of schema, those types of fragmented URLs. And John Mueller said, for the most part, as you see over here, we switched to rendering pages with the hashbang instead of using the escape fragment version. Some have direct links too, so crawling them won't immediately stop. So I guess for the most part, but they still kind of support it because they have direct links to it. We'll see what happens there. Google Maps, business reviews, sometimes get spammy, and now there's this new tool out there. I'm not sure how well it works. I've tested it myself. A lot of people have been testing and they like it. It's another tool you can use, and probably the first tool that actually detects and tries to detect suspicious and fraudulent reviews. So it's called Stop. We're up on the map.com, and you go to it, you plug in your Google Map URL, and it'll tell you what the suspicious reviews are according to them. I know this guy, he's not suspicious. I mean, he might be suspicious, but he's a legit person. It's not fake. It's pretty cool to have tools like this that detect spam and fraud in the actual reviews. Google My Business has added a queries report. I think they had this ages ago, and now they brought it back. So if you go to Google My Business, it's starting to roll out, I'm told, and click on the Insights section, you'll see this new queries used to find your business, and it basically shows you searches that people use to actually find out your Google Maps listing and Google Local listing in Google Search. This is rolling out according to Google. Mike Blumenfeld found this first. Google said self-referential href lang is a good practice thing to do. So you don't have to do it, optional, but John Mueller confirmed that it is good practice to do it. He said it over here. Even though they updated the help docs, he said, still, self-referential href is optional, but you're right. It's a good practice to do. So that's interesting, and definitely keep doing it if you have been doing it. Good job. Google has updated their href lang help documentation. It used to be a much shorter document. Now it has a lot more information, including specific guidelines, methods, 3 different methods for indicating you have alternative pages. Of course, like I said, the guidelines, supported language, regional codes, how to use xdefault tag for your unmatched languages, the common mistakes and some debugging techniques. So definitely take a look at that. It has been significantly updated, and if you are doing href lang, you should definitely take a look at that. Google Data Studio, like we said, has now gained also the 16 months of search analytics data, just like the Search Analytics API. Google Data Studio has also supported it as well, and John Mueller confirmed it, and we have some screenshots from people using the Google Data Studio that shows that information. So that's pretty good to have. Google is testing making the URL in the search results clickable as well. So it just used to be the title of the page, the snippet in the title. So for example, it just used to be this, but now Google's also testing making that clickable. I am not able to replicate it, but it is something that Google is testing. So another story, every like 6 months or so, I feel like these stories come out where it talks about how SEOs or digital marketers are manipulating websites that allow contributed content and guest posts to get links. And another one came out just recently from BuzzFeed, named one of the web's most prolific online marketer writers have been promoting his clients in articles from Forbes, Entrepreneur, and Inc. magazine. Again, you can just see this. It's just funny to read it on some level. It's sad, of course, but these websites know about this. It's been going on for years. Google has told us time and time again that they actually go ahead and no-follow links from some of these. Well, one is the Forbes, and these types of magazines have said they no-follow these types of links. Not always, definitely not always. Google has said that they actually don't. They actually ignore links from these types of websites as well. So in any event, this is not new to us. It's definitely getting more and more attention in the major press, which is interesting. Wired had an interesting article, again, not new to us, but it really highlights what Google has been calling for years the evil unicorn. And what Wired is calling either keyword voids or data voids. Basically, when somebody searches for something in Google, and Google doesn't have enough information about it. So specifically, if somebody's searching for something that has very, very, very little content on the web, and Google doesn't have enough quality content around that, what does Google do? Does it show the bad content, the misinformation, and stuff like that? And what happened was, you see here, Matt Cutts talks about how this is called, in his day, is the evil unicorn problem, because there's not much content for evil unicorns, but you can still search for that. Now there's content for evil unicorns. But Google, and then you have Danny Sullivan, who's now, it's his job, not Matt Cutts' job, to go ahead and defend Google, and he does that in a long Twitter rant, which you can definitely read. It's pretty interesting. In any event, none of this is really new, so if you're just looking for some fun, definitely take a look at that. And then Google AdWords has posted, as we discussed last week, AdWords is rebranding to Google Ads. After about 15 plus years, I believe, or 18 years, almost 18 years of being called AdWords. And Google posted a Twitter poll saying, how long have you been using Google Ads? And thus far, most people have been using it from 0 to 5 years, but I posted it on our blog. Definitely take that poll. Right now, there's about 615 votes. I think when we posted this, there was about 200 less. So definitely fill out that poll. I'm very curious to see where we're at. And finally, Pedro Diaz, former Googler, went ahead and created a Google Assistant, Google Home app that tests your SEO knowledge. It's called the SEO Challenge, and all you have to do is go to Google, your Google Assistant, and say the trigger word, and then say, talk to the SEO Challenge. And there's about 40 questions with 20 questions per round, and it basically tests your SEO knowledge in the SEO space. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, July 6th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.